fourth filter of propaganda model is flack and the enforcers. Flack is referred to the negative responses to media statements and programs, and it comes in many forms such as letters, speeches, lawsuits, and petitions. This filter can either be a national event, or these complaints can happen all over the nation in local cities and towns. Regardless of where the complaints are, this can negatively affect the big corporate businesses and also the network, which can result in loss of funding and also loss of interest in the shows that the companies are producing. A huge issue that deals with this filter is the firing of 2 Fox General News reporters back in 1997. Jane Acker and Steve Wilson were the 2 reporters for Fox who had investigated in a story about the recombinant bovine growth hormone that was being used in Florida dairy farmers' cattle to increase milk production. Acker and Wilson researched this hormone and found out that it could be a cause of cancer and tried to have it removed from milk products. The only problem with this was that the hormone company, Monsanto, had insisted that their product was safe and denied that accusations.
1 week later, Monsanto sent the second letter, and this was even more strongly worded. And it said there will be dire consequences for Fox News if the story airs in Florida. And this time they freaked. They were afraid of being sued, and they were also afraid of losing advertising dollars at all of the stations owned by Rupert Murdoch. And he owned more television stations than any other group in America. I mean, that's 22 television stations. That's a lot of advertising dollars for Roundup, aspartame, NutraSweet, and other products.
So we got into a battle, and the first deal was the new general manager.
And his name's Dave. And Dave is a salesman, and, you know, he'd pump your hand. How you doing, how you doing?
Called us upstairs to his office, and he said, what would you say if I killed this piece? What if it never ran? And we said, well, you know, we wouldn't be very happy about that. And he said, well, I could kill it, you know. And we said, yes, of course, you're the manager. You could kill it. It would never air. And he's hemming and he's hawing and he's back and he's forth. And we couldn't figure out, what is this all about? And finally he blurted out, look, would you tell anybody? You know, I said, I'm not going to lie for you.
After Acker and Wilson wanted to follow through with their story despite everyone against it, they had to rewrite their story about 70 times because Monsanto had filed a lawsuit against them. After the lawsuit came out, Fox News had tried to pay off Acker and Wilson. When that plan backfired because the 2 refused to be quiet, Fox ended up firing them. 2 innocent people lost their jobs because they were trying to tell the truth about a product and potentially tried to save lives.
The fifth filter is the fact that anti-communism is the national religion. Due to continual conflicts with and well-publicized abuses of communist states, anti-communism has become one of the primary ideologies of Western culture. So it is unthinkable for anyone, especially in the media, to support anything remotely communist. But there is some uncertainty as to what communism actually is, so a lot of what people say can be considered communist. Liberals are often criticized for being either pro-communist or not anti-communist enough. So the media has to filter potential stories or not be objective on certain stories in order to avoid this criticism. One clear example of this filter was the Hollywood blacklist of the 1950s.
These are the Hollywood 10. These 8, and these 2. In the fall of 1947, they were subpoenaed to appear before the House Committee on Un-American Activities, whose chairman was J. Parnell Thomas. They did not behave to Mr. Thomas's satisfaction, and they were declared to be in contempt of Congress. They were tried and declared guilty. They appealed their cases to the higher courts, and their appeal was denied. All 10 are now in federal prison, serving 1-year sentences.
Even though these screenwriters, musicians, actors, and directors were not communists, their work was forbidden from the public eye. This is one example of how anti-communism as a national religion can influence the media.
Propaganda will always be an ever-present component in the media. The issue is not it being there, but rather making television viewers aware of it. There is nothing corrupt with trying to persuade a viewer to join a specific cause. The problem with the media, specifically television, is that there is no other side to join except for the ones that the Big 10 corporation CEOs support. The manipulation that occurs through the television reflects the specific views of the sponsors and CEOs. To help eliminate this in American TV, Americans should adopt a program such as the Korean television industry. There, the beliefs of sponsors are not felt because television is not funded by corporations, but rather by the people. Having a government-funded program allows the people to pick what they want to produce and view on television. This allows for Korean viewers to have a much more broader sense of the world because they are seeing more perceptions of it. Adopting such a program would be very beneficial to American society because it would both broaden a viewer's perception of the world, but it would also take away the immense amount of power that corporate leaders hold, thus allowing for more views to be shown, subduing the propaganda that is evident in American TV.